Hello everybody, it's Miss Darling in the studio, and I have been having a lot of fun making these, what do I call them? They're playing cards. I'm using playing cards as my substrate, and on one side is the playing card, as you can see here. And on the other side is how I decided to redecorate the back side. And I have this idea where I think when I get an entire playing pack, when I get an entire one done, then I'm going to turn it into a journal. And so I'm pressing on. Let me show you what I've done so far. I'm making companions. So if I start out with 2 jacks, I choose a red jack and a black jack. And it doesn't matter if it's a diamond, a heart, a club, or spade. It doesn't matter to me. I'm going to have a red and a black together, and then I'm going to decorate the back side as companions, so they will be similar yet different. And so here are 2 cards I just finished making earlier today, and you can see how, the color palette is the same, but they have their similarities, but they also have their differences. So they're not exactly the same. They're not duplicates by any stretch of the imagination. And that's the way I like it. So I have that. And then my next set are these 2 cards. And these have 8 on the back. So that's why you'll see the number 8 done in 2 different ways here on this side, because the other side, they're the 8s. So this was really fun to do, and a little bit wild and crazy, and I did some splattering, and this is vintage book paper in the background, and I'm just really pleased with the way this came out. These are designs that I cut with my little die cut machine, and it's just really fun. And I love working on this smaller size. I have been mostly designing journal pages that are 5.5 by 8.5, and these are a little bit smaller. These are more like 5 by 7s, and I am really enjoying the fun of decorating on this smaller size. I think it's just a lot easier. So now here are 2 queens, and here's how I decorated those. And so you can see now these are a combination of fabric and paper, and I just love how it turned out. These were actually the first 2 that I did, and I had so much fun. I just got really excited and went on, and now I'm just decorating up a storm. Okay, so now let's look at these 2 3s. Something totally different. My favorite floral painter, and got some butterflies going on here. The color palette is very similar, a little bit more, some blues over here, which we don't find over here, but I think they still make very good companion pieces. Here we have 2 kings. And I pulled out some of my African fabrics to use as the background, and It really establishes a strong color palette, and I think it, just goes really well with the other side of the card. And let me flip that over so you can see. And this was just really fun, and I did a lot of collaging on these particular companions, and I just really love how they turned out. Next we have aces. And here, when I was doing the, I think these are called, what are they called? Face cards. There's yellow. We have the red, the black, and the white, but there's also yellow in these. And so your color palette can be a little bit broader. And but then when you get to the number cards, because I wasn't working with brown yet at this point, my colors are, the red, the black, and the off-white. And white, actually. So we got some cream, and these are a combination of fabric. Well, it's all fabric on the background, along with some vintage lace. And then we have the floral images on top with a little bling added. And that was a completely different direction. I'm trying to be as creative and different with each set as I can. I will probably have some that are, closely related to each other, but I think you can see so far that I have a lot of variety going on already. So here we got fives, and what do you think we have on the front? A 5. And so this was really fun, and this was the first excursion into the vintage book page as a background, which brings that beautiful kind of reddish brown. And so I stayed with black for, the main focal points, but I wanted to get a little red in there as well, because we do, well, this card is black, we do have this card that's very red, so I did not want to ignore the red. And so you just see a little hint of that, and that was just really fun to do. This is all paper with some stamping and washi tape. So now here we've got 2s, and this again is the vintage journal paper from the early 1900s, I believe. It might be late 1800s, but for sure early 1900s. And so I came across these lovely lady images, and so I love the red and the brown and the black working together. I think it's just really vintage, really cool, and just a wonderful color palette to use. And you can see it still goes nicely no matter what. It is very coordinated with what's on the other side. So, is that it? Did I go through all of them already? I guess I did. So anyway, this is where I've gotten to right now. And so we're going to proceed and look at red and black 10s. And so I'm going to put my dirty old desk protector up here and kind of give some thought to this. I will probably be working to stay with, I think I'm just really enjoying working with the brown tones and then throwing in some red and black on top of that. So I think that I will continue on. And so let's see what we've got here. I do have some music sheet that I have used a little bit of, but I've not done the entire background, but I need to see what else I've got here that I can. Alright, so here's another one. And it's pretty much the same coloring. So I think we'll give this a try and see where we go from there. I started out with the earlier ones doing, you know, multiple variations for the background, and right now I've kind of settled into speeding up my process a little bit by using just one sheet over the entire card and then dressing it up with some ephemera after that point. And so I'm just going to continue doing that for a while anyway, because I have a lot to do for a project I have in mind, and I don't want it to take forever. Don't know how straight that is. We'll find out when we trim it off. The book page paper that I was using was not quite wide enough, and so it's kind of nice having a sheet that's definitely larger than the card. Makes it a lot easier. Okay. I got it on pretty straight. My goodness, there was no room to spare vertically, was there? A little bit shifted to the left, but that's okay. We'll maybe put a border or something down here to help balance that out. And so since that happened, I can't guarantee that I'm going to wind up with the seam positioning on this, because it's just all working blind and putting it down and hoping for the best. I don't worry about being perfect. This is junk journal, and we don't care about perfection. We care about having fun and doing good design. So I think maybe I'll just get this on. each time I do one, it gets tougher and tougher to try to find an idea that's completely different from any of the previous ones. But we'll keep trying to be different and have all that variety as long as we can. And hopefully I'll be at my goal in terms of number of pages. Each card here will be a page. And because there is going to already be a design on both sides of the card, and this will be the page. Yeah, I got that one to the left as well. So that's okay, because it's just going to make it more of a companion. What was I saying? I forgot. Oh well. Alright. Now, I am looking for what I can do that will have some black and red. I had a book around here, and now I can't find what I did with it. I know I didn't put it back. There you are. Okay, I'm going to be pulling some images from this book. It's called the Botanist Sticker Anthology, and it's a little bit pricey, but this is full of ephemera of, plant life and butterflies and dragonflies and bugs and whatnot. And these are all stickers, and you could just pull them out. Now, what the cuts are all made, but they wind up being a lot wider than I like. So once I pull it out of the book, I always trim it more. You can see this was one from an image from the book, and my cuts around the image are very close, like about 1/8 of an inch, sometimes a little less, whereas on here it's almost 1/4 of an inch. And so, if you don't mind the cutout being that far away from the image itself, you could just pull them out and slap them down. I like, because it's a white background, I think it's a white background throughout the book. Yeah, unless I'm collaging on top of white or cream paper, it just shows too much for my taste. So I do a little more fussy cutting. And so let's kind of take a look and see what our choices are. I'm looking for, well, the red on the playing cards is like a fire engine red. It's a warm red. And so I'm looking mostly for warm red. However, if I can't find it, I'm okay with using a cool red, more of a cherry or burgundy type of red. I just want red and black. Primarily, I should say. You can see how, you know, their images are really, really nice. And I've used that one already. That's a duplicate. So I don't want to do that again. Here's a bunch. This will be the main focal point. And this is kind of orangey red. It's not, you know, it would be passable, but I would prefer for it not to be so orange. I might not be able to. I should have pulled out some face cards. Maybe let's see. Maybe I've done all of them already except for Joker. I still have to do Joker. So when I do Joker, maybe I'll pull out some of this custard color. It's kind of a muted yellow, and you know, that would be pretty. The mustard on, say, a brown background with black as an accent. So I may have already pulled out the best ones in this book. And here we have some, these are quite orange. Here's a pretty bold fire engine red. We could do that on one of them. So let's go ahead and pull this out. You do have to be careful when you pull them out. You don't come out as cleanly as you might think they would, and you can wind up getting little tears here and there. Alright, so this is wider than the card. Too bad, but I think I could use it anyway. I'm okay with, you know, it bleeding off one side. I'm just going to lightly stick it there just to have it out. So I've got one down, and I should move that where I can see it, because now I'm going to try and find a second one of the same color and dominance and size. I don't know if I'll be able to find one, but we'll try. Now here we've got more of a burgundy red, You can see this is much cooler than that red. This is a warm red and a cool red. But we have a, well, actually, it's looking, we got a, it's cooler than I had in my mind that it was. So, maybe that's not the best choice after all. Maybe I should think in terms of something from these cooler reds. Well, what I am going to do is pull this up and take it off of the red card. I may wind up needing to use it, and if I do, I'll put it on the black card. And so now I'm going to go ahead and grab this nice large, I don't know, what is that, a peony? Or I don't know. I don't know that much about the names of flowers. But ooh, that's going to be gorgeous on that brown. So I'm going to keep looking. And if I have this as a double spread in my future journal, I'm not going to want the cool on one side and the warm on the other side. So I'm very happy with that cool red, more so than the warm red. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and put this back in the book for another time. And let's see. You know what? Maybe the one on the other side just really needs to be, it's lighter than that one, but I still think that they would look good together on a double spread. And so, well, I'm going to, if I don't find something better than this one, then I'll grab that one. They need to feel good together, because they will be opposite each other in the journal that I will eventually make, and so they need to feel good together. I could go with maybe just greenery on the other side. It doesn't have to be. Ooh, look at that. Is that not brilliant? But I already know that while the whole page is larger than my card, the cutout, there's a bit, you won't be able to see it, but there's a large oval cutout here and over here. And but it's, I don't want to, totally cover over my background. So I could maybe think about using these as a background for a future card or a set. maybe I'll need to not really go for red on the other side. Let's see. That could look kind of good. It's very different. Well, I think I'll go ahead and pull this out as a contender for the other card. And I'm just going to quickly flip through here a little bit more. There's some berries down there, but that's a little warmer. Now this isn't an oval. This has kind of the shape of the card, but let's see if that would fit in there. Yeah. That's going to be just big enough to become a background of its own. And I have two cards with matching background. It's not bad. It's a little warm. That might be a better companion with the other one. Now we're into the pinks. And I've already pulled a few things. We've got some berries. I think that's pretty much going to do it. Okay, so I'm going to come back to where I got this image from. It's a little bit on the small side, so I may need to beef it up by collaging a second piece in there with it. Oh, I thought I had the page. Okay, here's where I got that one from. So I might maybe pull a little bit of that in. It has that same light, airy, wispiness to it. And I could maybe put those two together somehow. So we'll just kind of pull it out and test it out. I'm not going to know until I get them side by side if I can work with them to make something that is pleasing. Okay, I need to put something in here so I can find this page again. All right. Here's my base down here, and this is kind of a spray that's coming down from the top. So I could maybe have this down here toward the left with this. I won't use all of this, it hangs down too far, but that could maybe drop in like about there. And it could maybe work. Although it's probably going to be better if I don't overlap. I really like that, getting those acorns on there. So I think it may be better if I try and move this one down, even if I have to cut off some of it. I would like there to be some space between the two. On second thought, maybe, let's find that page again. Maybe I need to pull something else that I like better. And it doesn't have to be red in it. I've got this smaller one. Okay, well, I'm going to pull this one out just to see if just having a smaller one will work fine. Maybe I could put some lace or something behind it. Yeah, I think I like that better. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. That's not a bad place for that. And I think that could make a nice double spread. But let's play around with it a little bit and add, maybe we could add some tickets or little certificates or something. I got a whole bunch of these. I think I like that. And let's see if we want to do something similar but different over here. Like that. And there's some darker brown on there, like that. Okay. All right, what is our number again? 10. So there's a, yeah, that's too warm. Here's a black 10. Could maybe drop in there. See if we have. There's a dark one. Okay. Now, do we want to throw a little fabric in? Yeah, I'm really liking the simplicity of this. You know, you can collage something to death, and sometimes it's just best less is more. And I think this is one of those times. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this off temporarily. And I want to ink around the edges. I want to do something with this border. Okay. I'm going to get rid of this little white paper around it. It's nice having a little frame that you can stick these smaller numbering things inside of, so they don't look kind of lost and lonely. So Okay. But I think that I should do something. Maybe I'll run some lace down there. I've got something here that's I've used before. It's real thin. So it's not going to add any bulk. So I think we'll do that. If you notice some red blotches on my arms, I'm trying not to get them in frame, but I don't know if I've been successful with that. But anyway, I've been having a problem with getting bit by something somewhere in my home, and I don't know what it is or where it's coming from. I have my bed, of course, but they're not bed bugs. I'm quite certain of that because there's no tracking. They're just real random, and bed bugs leave they kind of bite you several times as they're walking across you. And so you see, kind of a track. And I don't have that, so don't think that. And my bed is also very well protected so that I don't have an issue with bed bugs. But I don't know if it's happening to me while I'm here in my studio working, or whether it happens when I'm downstairs in my family room watching TV. But I am being eaten alive, and I've got to find a way of figuring out where it's coming from. Okay. See, that was quick and easy. And I like that right where it is, so I'm going to leave it there and burnish it down. I did not fussy cut this because I'm okay with the white going all around the image this time. Okay, so what else were we doing here? Okay, I'm going to drop this in here. Most of my weight on the flowers over here, so I want to do something over on this side to balance. And I think I'm going to ink up around this too, so I get a little more contrast against the background. I'm going to darken up the edge of this. And we'll drop that right in there. Yeah, I like that. It's an understated look. Okay, and so now on this one, I'm going to lay this in first, and I want to capture those two acorns right up here in the corner, and let it just kind of angle downward. And that pulls the eye down to where we'll have this down here, and I'll just slide this in. Let's see, I think let's get this glued on first. And then that'll overlap that. And we'll drop this in right in there. Okay. May have to glue this down a little better here in the corner. And there we go. Do I need this anywhere? Yeah, I think we like that there. Okay. This is my less is more grouping. I like that. I hope you do too. It's nice to just, you know, do something a little more on the simple side. You know, one of the important aspects of being a good designer, a good artist, is knowing when to quit. When enough is enough. You can have too much of a good thing, and so know when to quit. When, you know, because too much of a good thing becomes just boring because it's just overwhelming. And so I think we can get caught up in thinking that, oh, we got to do more and more, you know, it's just not enough, and it is enough. As long as it's pleasing to the eye, it feels balanced, and, you know, I'm all for clutter as long as it's well organized clutter. I'm not for clutter just for the sake of having clutter. And I think good design is always appreciated and very valuable. So, thanks for being here, and if you found this content helpful, inspirational, I hope you'll subscribe, leave me a comment, give the video a like, and that will help the algorithm to pass the video on so others can partake. And that said, this is Miss Darling calling this a wrap. Bye-bye.